Good evening to everybody. Welcome to the Law of Insurance class. And today that I'm going to deal the insurance policies and insurance claims under the Motor Vehicle Act of the 1988. Please, anyone can unmute and read that what I posted on the screen.
Good evening to legal fraternity. The Motor Vehicles Act 1988. Motor Vehicle Act. Authority Motor per Professor Dr. Mohammad Saab Hussain.
Yes, this is the thing which I want to share with you. And now let us come to the point the insurance policies, vehicle claims, vehicle accidental claims under the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988. Let us see the introduction because generally there are around about 1.51 lakhs people die in the road accident. But the latest figure shows around the 3.75 lakhs accidental deaths in India in 2020, over 35% in road crashes. NCRB, they made the data in India recorded that 3,54,796 cases of road accidents during the 2020, in which 1,33,201 people died and 3,35,201 were injured. Then the NCRB, which functions under the Union Ministry of the Home Affairs, stated more than 60% of the road accidents were caused due to overspeeding, accounting for the 75,333 deaths and 2 lakhs 9,736 persons injured, the report stated. This sometimes happens because of their fault or sometimes because of the fault of others. They must pay. But when a person suffers a loss due to the action of others, the Indian legislature provides them with a remedy. That remedy is available under the Motor Vehicle Act 1988. Now, can you read that what I there on the overseas of the Motor Vehicle Act 1988? Can anyone can unmute and read?
Overview of Motor Vehicle Act 1988. Motor Vehicles Act 1988 is an inclusive act and was enacted on 1st July 1989. It has replaced the Motor Vehicle Act 1939, the very first act to govern road transport. Carriers was the Motor Vehicles Act 1914, which a change in socio-economic needs. The need to introduce new law was felt and led to the enactment of Motor Vehicles Act 1988 and was amended in the year 2019. The Act has following features.
Okay, thank you very much. And the new act has emerged over there because there may be some lacunae, some gaps, some deficiency. They found it, hence 1939 is replaced by the 1988 Act, and later on the amendments were made in the 2019. So that is the way. The Act has the following features. What is that? Number one, the Act contains the 217 sections and two schedules. Number two, the Act provides the compensation for the victims in a road accident in case of death and grievous injuries. Number three, it provides for the establishment of the Road Safety Board. Number four, it provides the establishment of the Motor Accident Claims Tribunal for the speedy disposal of the claims cases in case of the death or injury in a roadside accident. Number five, it imposes the fines and penalties in case of a drink and drive. And six, it also provides for the recall of the vehicles. If you happen to see that this is the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988, then Chapter 1, Preliminary Chapter 2, Licensing of Drivers of the Motor Vehicle, then Chapter 3, License of the Conductors of Stage Carriages, number 4, Registration of the Motor Vehicle, number 5, Control and Transport Vehicle, number 6, that is a chapter. Chapter 6, special provision relating to the state transport undertaking. Chapter 8, control of the traffic. Chapter 9, motor vehicle temporarily living or visiting India. Then the chapter 10, liability without a fault in certain cases. No liability without the fault in certain cases. And chapter 11, insurance of motor vehicle against the third party risk. And chapter 12, claims tribunal. How the claims tribunal will be formed over there, it is clearly mentioned in the chapter 12. Chapter 13, offenses, penalties, and procedures. What are the penalties are there? What are the procedures should be followed? And chapter 14, miscellaneous. Then we can see the schedule, first schedule, the second schedule, then total 217 capital A is the sections are there, which capital A to the 217, renewal of the permits, driving license, and registration granted under the Motor Vehicle Act 1939 will stand as it is. It will be continued unless until it will be renewed or elapsed. The Motor Vehicle Act 1918 Act number 59, that is 59 Act of the 1988. So the details are given over there in the total. So now I have given only the nutshell, what it contains and what it will be there. The claims under the Motor Vehicle Act 1988, how the claims are there. Of course, before features we have already seen. What are the features of the act would be there. So in the features, let us see the insurance policy under the Motor Vehicle Act, how it would be run. Section 145 to 164. See, these are the following the features. We read it and we explained. Insurance policy under the Motor Vehicle Act. Section 145 to 164. These are the section deals with the insurance of the motor vehicles against the third party risk. They say against the third party risk. They did not say comprehensive insurance. It says that against the third party risk. This is also called the third party liability, where the insurance company indemnifies the insured person when the insured person is sued or is held liable for the damages against the third person. In government national insurance company versus Fakir Chand. I repeat, in government national insurance company versus Fakir Chand, in this case law, it was held that the third parties include, who are the third parties? They include any person walking on the road. What do you say, the any person walking on the road with one word? Means on the pedestal or on the pedestal, on the pedestal, pedestrian. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Is a pedestrian walking on the road, traveling in another vehicle. Suppose the person is traveling in another vehicle, or is a passenger in the vehicle that has been insured, where it met with an accident, where that vehicle is insured, the passenger sitting in the vehicle, even that also said to be the third person. Who are the third persons now?
Pedestrian walking.
Pardon?
Pedestrian walking man.
Okay, number one. Number two?
Number two, drive vehicle, traveling vehicle.
Number two, even a person who is traveling in another vehicle. Number two. Number three?
Passenger vehicle, sir.
A passenger who travels
Yes, sir.
in a vehicle that has been insured. So these are all the person are said to be. These are all the person are said to be
It to be insurance liable, third party.
third person. Agreed?
Yes, sir. Agreed, sir.
Okay. Now let us see the features. What are the features are there? In Govindan versus New India Assurance Company Limited, it is one of the case law. I repeat, in Govindan versus New India Assurance Company Limited, it was held that insurance policy is a mandatory for every vehicle in India under the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988. So it is a mandatory. Which one? Comprehensive or third party insurance?
Third party insurance, sir.
At least
Yes, sir.
third party insurance. So
Yes,
the
sir.
second is, it does not take into ambit the harm caused to the insured, rather it covers the harm caused to the third party. Because it is a third party insurance, hence the ambit will not come into the insured, because if the insured wants to be covered over there, he has to take the comprehensive insurance. In other words, we can say that it is a 360-degree angle insurance. Which is the 360-degree angle insurance? Yes? If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, you say pass on. I will give the answer. Yes?
Pass answer.
Yes. 360-degree angle person, Sukumar, it means comprehensive insurance. So that is the 360-degree angle. It means everyone will get the compensation there. Even including that car damage, he will get it. The person who is a passenger in the insured party, he will get it. The passenger, person who is the pedestrian, he will get it. Or the person who is traveling in another vehicle also, he will get it. So next third point is, it is based purely on the fault theory. So it means to claim the insurance money, the insured must establish that it was his fault entirely, and also that injury is caused by the insured fault only. So now see that accident occurs because of the whose fault? Anyone? Motor vehicle accident occurs because of whose fault?
Rider's fault.
Either party fault. In some cases, no party in the fault because there is a lot of fog. F-O-G, fog. What do you say in Telugu?
Kappa, sir.
Pogamani.
Kappa.
In Urdu or Hindi, we say kohar. But in the English, it is a fog, F-O-G, fog. Next, this requires a lawyer's help, of course. Sometimes, most of the times, no, a lawyer would be knows how to defend the case, what are the provisions should be there, how to calculate the sum of the money depending upon the age of the person who died, whether it is a dependent, whether it is a government employee, whether it is a self-employee. So depending upon that, there is a multiple theory method would be there. The Sarala case is there, which is a very famous case law that we use the calculation we are going to see now. It is the most unpopular insurance as compared to the first party insurance. So naturally, third party insurance, only the person who injured, the third person will get it. That's why when the vehicle is new, the people go for the comprehensive insurance. Now let us see the claims under the Motor Vehicle Act 1988. The Motor Vehicle Act 1988 provides provisions related to the claims for the losses that occurred due to the motor accident to persons, either self or third party. In the case where a third party claims the damage, the report of the accident should be reported or given to the nearest police station, then to the insurance company. Who has to give this thing? Yes. Naturally, injured definitely will go to the police station where the accident took place, and which police station is having the jurisdiction to entertain such a case, he will go and complain it. Suppose if he is injured, if the fracture is there, multiple fracture is there, then MLC would be there, medical certificate will be issued. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Even the hospital will send the original medical certificate, that is the medical certificate, to the respective police station. In addition to that, even the injured also take the photocopy by the smartphone. He will also submit it, and he also submit the vehicle number by taking the photograph. So whereas in the case of the self-claim, the person shall have to inform the insurance company and the police before the damage gets fixed. Suppose the self is injured over there, insured is injured over there. It is the insured who has to give the complaint to the police, and he will inform to the insurer. However, an application for the claims under the Motor Vehicle Act 1988 can be made or filled by the owner himself. Even a owner can also fill it, or else in case of the death of the owner, the nearest kin of the deceased is legally entitled to make such application. In case the owner died, who is insured. Further, the accident victim, those who got injured in the accident, having an age less than the age of 18 years, suppose the minor is there and he cannot file it, but on behalf of the minor, who will file it? Either the lawyer
Guardian,
or
sir.
guardian or somebody else, he will sign on behalf of it and he will file it. However, application for the claiming the compensation before the tribunal may be made by the accident victims himself or by the owner of the vehicle, or in case of death has been caused due to the accident, the application for claims can be made through the legal heirs of the deceased, or all or any person duly authorized by the person injured, or by any or of the legal representative of the injured person can file it in the in the police station as well as bring to the notice of the insurance company if the owner or the person, the insured, will say that which company is having the insurance at the time. In case the insurance is lapsed, then what will happen?
No compensation.
Rejected the policy, sir.
Repeat.
Rejected policy.
The
No claim.
owner has to bear the expenses,
Yes, sir.
whereas the person who himself is responsible for the reckless and careless driving will not be entitled to claim compensation. Even a person who is a drunken state and doesn't have the license, even though having the license but is expired, but he not renewed it, and at the time his 100% fault would be there, then the insurance company is not going to give any compensation to him who got injured over there. But insurance company definitely will come to the rescue of that person who is a third person because of the negligence of the owner. If the third person got injured over there, for instance, a pedestrian or the person who is traveling in a passenger in the another vehicle, or the person who is sitting in the another vehicle, or the person who is sitting in his own vehicle got insured over there, then he will be held responsible to pay the compensation to the respective persons. So in the case of the Manjuri Bera versus Oriental Insurance Company, I repeat, in case of the Manjuri Bera versus Oriental Insurance Company, the Supreme Court held that the father and the brother means father, brother, would be eligible to claim compensation under Section 140 of the Motor Vehicle Act 1988 as it does not cease because there is an absence of dependency. So if the absence of the dependency would be there, then each individual will claim it. If the dependency would be there, naturally one person will claim it. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Types of the claims under the Act. What are the types are there? There are three types of the claims through the which one can go for the compensation claim. These are all as follows. Number one, hit and run cases. These kind of the cases will be dealt with the provision of the Section 161 of the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988. In this case, the accused hit the victim. The accused hit the victim through his vehicle and runs away instead of helping him or taking him to the nearest hospital. So such cases are called
Hit and run.
hit and run cases. Sir, who will pay the compensation in the hit and run cases, sir? Of course, there an officer would be there appointed in such a cases to and to trace it. If in case that he will not trace it, he will work under the Tehsildar. Tehsildar works under the collector, and the state will pay the compensation as a solace to him in the hit and run cases. Provided if the fund is there. Most of this time they will say there is no fund. As soon as the fund comes, we will release it and we will give to you. Okay, structured formula basis how it will be there. The claim was introduced in the year 1994 after the amending act of. This amendment has brought in the new provision, that is section 163 capital A in the hit and run cases. As per this section, no necessity to prove the fault of the driver. No, there is no question of proving the fault of the driver because driver will not be known or unknown, he run away. The owner of the insurer must give the compensation to the claimant after the identification of the accused is made. If the accused identification is made over there, at that instance, suppose if you know that which vehicle is made such an accident, suppose the vehicle is not known or not traced out, what will happen? Nothing is going to happen because the person who made such an accident will not be known. He run away. Then the government will come to the solace. Procedure for the claiming the compensation where the accident has resulted in the damage of its own vehicle. The person has to inform the police, definitely, and to the insurance company before fixing the damages. When it is a case of third-party claim, then first it should be reported to the police, and after that, insurance company is concerned. The owner has to apply to the claim damages, or in the case of the death of the owner, the nearest relative shall apply, or in case of the death of the third party, then who had to apply? in the case of the third party death in the accident. Why you are taking that much time? It is already there on the screen also.
Pass on.
It is already there in the screen on the screen also. In case of the death of the third party, who has to move the application? It is there on the screen. భక్తుల్లారా ఉన్నారా అండి, నిద్రపోయినరా?
Sir, we are here, sir. Namaste.
స్క్రీన్ మీద ఉన్నది కదండి, చూసన్నా చెప్పండి కనీసం.
The owner has to apply to crime damages.
In case of the death of the third party, the application moved by whom?
Legal aid, sir.
మళ్ళీ హైలైట్ కూడా చేసిన కదండి మీకు, దానికి
In
చెప్పదానికి.
case of death of the third party, the application for claiming compensation can be filed by the legal aid of the deceased.
But why you are taking that much time to give the reply? Okay. The applicant shall be filled with the other documents such as, what are the applications should be there accompanied? Number one, FIR copy. I believe that everybody knows what is the FIR. What is FIR?
First information report, sir.
Is it acronym or abbreviation?
Acronym, sir.
It is an acronym. Number two,
All letters are capital letters is called acronym.
yes. What is the, read the number two?
Documents showing the age of the victim. Number three, copy of medical, legal certificate, death report, post-mortem report, as the case of may be. Fourth one, proof showing income statement of the deceased or injured. Fifth one, proof of identity of claimant. Sixth one, cover note of third party policy, etc.
These are the things should be accompanied when you want to file it. Number one, FIR. Number two, the age of the victim. Why the age of the victim is essential here? Can anybody will give the answer? If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, say pass on. Don't waste the time.
Above 18 years, sir.
Yes?
Above 18 years.
I said why the age is more important. Say over 21 years. Okay, now you tell me.
Minority.
The age of the victim is important because whether he is a dependent, whether he is a independent, whether he is a government employee, whether he is a state government employee, whether he is a central government employee, whether he is a gazetted officer, whether he is a medical doctor, whether he is an engineer, and what is his income, how much the age that he will live over there the multiple theory will be applied. Multiplication theory would be applied. How much age that he is going to do, how much the deduction can be made it over there, how many dependents are there, then they will calculate it. I will show you one calculation example, I made it here. So that's why age of the victim is very important. So now procedure for calculating, she will see what is the procedure for calculating the compensation. While calculating the compensation, the tribunal has to keep in mind various factors. The court through each case has widened its scope. So I told you Sarala case la, Sarala Verma versus Delhi Transport Corporation. ఎవరైనా మోటార్ వెహికల్ యాక్ట్ చదివినానంటే, కాంపన్సేషన్ వేసినానంటే, సరళా వర్మ పేరు తెలియకపోతే ఇక దట్ ఫెలో ఈజ్ ఏ యూజ్లెస్ ఫెలో అని చెప్పుకోవచ్చు. ఎందుకంటే దిస్ ఈజ్ ద రిమార్కబుల్ కేస్ లా వేర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గివెన్ the table of the multiplication theory. So Sarala Verma versus Delhi Transport Corporation, the court explains the multiplier effect while awarding the compensation. The court in this case take into consideration the net annual value of the reliance on the date of the death of the deceased. The net annual loss is evaluated, keeping in mind the age of the deceased. I repeat, keeping in mind the age of the deceased and not the age of the parents. Whose age is more important? Whose age is more important?
Age of deceased, sir.
Deceased age is more important, not the
Yes, sir.
deceased wife age, not the deceased parents age. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
To compensate for the loss, this amount is then multiplied by the multiplier. That is the reckoner is there. I will show you the reckoner. The multiplied by the multiplier and the resultant is awarded as a compensation. The multiplier represents the number of the years purchased on which the loss of dependency is capitalized. Also, the multiplier is fixed the computation of the loss depending upon the age of the deceased. See, this is the age of the deceased left hand side, 15 to 25 years. Multiplier is 18. You have to multiply. Suppose his annual income is, let me presume, 10,000 or 1 lakh. Then 1 lakh into 18. That is multiplied. If the age is 26 to 30, then 17 multiplier. If the age is 31 to 35, 16 is the multiplier. If the age is 36 to 40, 15. Age is 41 to 45, 14. 46 to 50, 13. Age of whom? Age of whom?
Deceased.
Deceased, victim age, that is the deceased. 51 to 55, 11 multiplier. 56 to 60, 9 multiplier. 61 to 65, 7 multiplier. And above 66 to 70, 5 multiplier. రాను రాను తగ్గుతుందా అండి, ఎక్కుతుందా?
తగ్గుతుంది సార్.
ఎందుకు తగ్గుతుందండి?
ఏజ్ ఎక్కువ అవుతుంటే పర్సంటేజ్ డౌన్ అవుతుంది.
అది సంగతి. ఇన్వర్షన్లీ ప్రపోర్షనేట్ అంటారు దాన్ని. So, National Insurance Company Limited versus Pranay Sati, the Supreme Court laid down the guidelines for assessing the compensation concerning the prospects of the deceased, where the deceased is self-employed. Deceased is self-employed or has a fixed amount annada, or permanent salary unnada, central government employer, state government employer, corporate employer, MNC employer, how much the income after the deduction, how many dependents are there. These are all will be counted, including the funeral charges. It was held that the compensation should be just in nature, shall be equity, fair, and equity and fair and reasonable. These are the things will be come into the picture. So the guidelines given in the Sarla Verma case law, this is a remarkable case law where multiplier theory can be used over there. That's why we'll say Sarla Verma case law. If any person doesn't know, he will not calculate the using the ready reckoner of the multiplier, which the table which I have shown there above. So, and the court added a wide perspective in this. The additions were extended to the deceased not having the permanent job also. If the permanent job is not there, if it's a casual labor is there, how much the income would be there, how many dependents are there. So these are all the things would be counted over there. The court focuses on the need for a uniform principle of the standardization for the assessment of the compensation. However, the court ruled the benefit to others also, like in the case of the deceased who had a permanent job, means salaried job. Then if his age is below the 40 years, that means between 40 to 50 years, then or between 50 to 60 years, or the addition 50%, 30% or 15% respectively. అది పర్సంటేజ్ కలుపుతారు. What to be made to the prospects. I am speaking about the prospects of the deceased. ఇంకా ప్రాస్పెక్ట్స్ ఎట్లున్నాయి, మల్టిప్లైర్ థియరీ కాకుండా ప్రాస్పెక్ట్ కూడా పర్సంటేజ్ కలుపుతారు. ఇఫ్ ద డిసీజ్ వాజ్ సెల్ఫ్ ఎంప్లాయిడ్ ఉన్నాడు అనుకోండి, హ్యాడ్ ఏ ఫిక్స్డ్ శాలరీ, దెన్ ఇఫ్ హిస్ ఏజ్ ఈజ్ బిలో ద 40 years ఆర్ బిట్వీన్ ద 40 and 50 years and between the 50 to 60 years, or addition of the 40%, 25%, 10% will be made respectively. These are the prospectives. So table is there, so they will calculate it and they will tell you how much round figure will come. In the case where there are any loss of consortium, ఇది consortium ఏంటిదండి ఇది? Anyone?
పర్సన్ సార్.
Yes?
పర్సన్ సార్.
No. Consortium means suppose the husband died, then the wife could not get such a husband. So that compensation is consortium. Suppose if the wife died, such a wife you could not get it, so he will be repent over there. So what is the loss caused of such a wife? Even though he will get the another wife for marrying, but he will not get such a wife or such a husband is said to be the loss of consortium. So loss of the estate. What is the loss to the estate? Or funeral expenses. Then should be awarded 40,000, 15,000 and 15,000 respectively, depending upon the salary employee or casual labor. Depending upon the income source, it will be calculated. Further, the court decided that the amount shall be increased every 3 years at the rate of 10%. Suppose if the case is involved 6 years would be there, every year 3% the rate of interest would be there, percentage would be there, because inflation. Motor accident crime tribunal, because this tribunal will entertain the family law cases, sir. What this tribunal will entertain? What this motor accident crime tribunal will entertain? Sir, land disputes, sir. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Civil
sir.
court, sir.
Yes, sir. Andy. Motor
Civil
accident
court,
crime
sir.
tribunal family issues deal చేస్తుంది అండి. ల్యాండ్ ఇష్యూస్ డీల్ చేస్తుంది అండి మోటార్ యాక్సిడెంట్ క్లైమ్ ట్రైబ్యునల్. ఏం డీల్ చేస్తుందండి? మోటార్ వెహికల్ యాక్సిడెంట్ కేసులను డీల్ చేస్తుంది. ఏం డీల్ చేస్తుందండి?
మోటార్ వెహికల్ యాక్సిడెంట్ కేసు, సార్.
మరి అవునంటాను ఏంటి? ల్యాండ్ డిస్ప్యూట్స్ అంటే ఎస్ అంటారు.
ల్యాండ్ సివిల్ కేసులు చేస్తే సార్.
I asked a very clear question. మోటార్ యాక్సిడెంట్ క్లైమ్ ట్రైబ్యునల్ వాట్ దే ఎంటర్టైన్ అంటే ఏ కేసులను ఎంటర్టైన్ చేస్తాయి? ఆన్సర్ ఈస్
మోటార్ వెహికల్ యాక్సిడెంట్ కేసు, సార్.
ఎనీ వెహికల్ which got accident over there comes under the Motor Vehicle Act. Such cases, the Motor Accident Claim Tribunal will entertain it. Not the family disputes, not the land disputes, not the money disputes. The main motive or reason behind the establishment of the tribunal is to ensure the speedy trial of the cases and to ensure justice to be delivered. What is the saying, Andy? ఒక సేయింగ్ ఉన్నది అనుకోండి, ఆలస్యంగా ఇచ్చారనుకోండి జడ్జిమెంట్, అది ఇవ్వనట్టే జడ్జిమెంట్. వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ సేయింగ్?
స్పీడీ ట్రయల్ ఆఫ్ ద కేసు.
Yes. There is one saying is there in the English language that is very much applicable. ఒక 10 సంవత్సరాలు 20 సంవత్సరాలు, if the 10 years or 20 years has taken, let the decision is given, that means justice delayed is చెప్పండి సార్, తెలియకపోతే పాస్ అన్నానండి, నేనే చెప్పేస్తా కదండి. జస్టిస్ డిలేడ్ ఈజ్, టెల్ మీ. మరి ఎందుకండి సార్, నేను స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్లో కొడతాను సార్, అందుకోసం టైం అయింది సార్ నాకు తెలిసి చెప్పడానికి. జస్టిస్ డిలేడ్ ఈజ్ జస్టిస్ డినైడ్. సో for expeditious disposal of the cases, the tribunal is made for the motor vehicle accidents. That is called the motor vehicle accident tribunal. So the tribunals look into those cases where the matter is related to the loss of life, or loss of the property, or in case of an injury, or either death, or multiple injury, or permanent injury, or temporary injury. All those things will be calculated over there. This act also provides the appeal provision under the section 173, which states that the appeal against the claim tribunal will be live before the high court. ఒక్కసారి ట్రైబ్యునల్ డిసైడ్ చేసింది అనుకోండి, then appeal we need not to go to the district court, because the tribunal is having the equivalent power like the district court. Then the appeal goes to the high court. Suppose if you are not happy by the decision of the high court, then where do you go?
Supreme Court, sir.
You go to the Supreme Court, that is the apex court of the country. So now, documents required for the filing the claim application, I already told you, FIR is needed, and a medical legal certificate or post-mortem report, a death report should be needed. Document of identity of the claimant is required, and the original bills and expenses are incurred in the treatment along with the treatment record of the doctor is needed over there. Documents of education, qualification of the deceased and age, and how much is earning, what is the position, what is the status, what is the occupation, and the disability certificate as applicable. Suppose the permanent disability, temporary disability, loss of the limb, loss of the eye, loss of the ear, that thing should be taken from the doctor. Proof of income of the deceased or injured at the time of the death, what is the qualification, what is the job, and how much is earning, how many children are there, how many dependents are there, father mother is there or not, atta mama unnara leda, father in law mother in law is the dependent or not, because the wife is only the one daughter, then definitely the father in law mother in law will stay with the son in law. Documents related to the age of the victim, cover note of the third party insurance policy, whatever the policy would be there, comprehensive policy or the third party policy, liability, declaration of the fact detailing the relationship of the claimant with the deceased. What would be the claimant and what would be the deceased? What is the relationship between them? So there is a provision of non-fault liability under Chapter 10 of the Motor Vehicle Act, which states that there is a liability of the compensation imposed on the owner of the motor vehicle even there is no fault about the accident investigated by the court. Even the no fault would be there, investigated for, then who will be liable? Who will be liable? Owner of the motor vehicle is liable under Chapter 10.
Punishment.
The start of the liability mainly arises in case where the accident lead to the death or permanent incapacity of the accident victim. The hit and run cases, as defined in the section 161, subsection 1, class B of the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988, where the motor vehicle or motor vehicle owner cannot be ascertained even after the reasonable efforts. At the time, naturally, the government means Tahsildar, officer, collector will give certain solace to the victim in hit and run cases. What are the restrictions of the claims under the Motor Vehicle Act 1988? What will be exclusion clauses, rather we can say. So there are still certain restrictions for the claim under the Motor Vehicle Act 1988. What are those? As per the section, please read the section as per the. Yes, read anyone and can unmute and read the section as per the section.
163, capital B, sir.
Yes, there should not be hyphen. It's wrong. It is a 163 capital B when a person is entitled to claim for the compensation for his loss due to an accident under both the section 140 and article 163 capital A, hit and run cases. Or then he must lodge the claim under any of these two sections and should not claim under both the sections. That means if his accident falls under the two sections,
140 and
you can choose any one section only for the compensation. You cannot claim from the both the section two remedies. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు మామూలుగా వర్క్ మ్యాన్ కాంపన్సేషన్ యాక్ట్ డిజబిలిటీ నుండి చూసుకుంటాం. సపోజ్ ద డిజబిలిటీ వుడ్ బి దేర్, పర్మనెంట్ డిజబిలిటీ ఇస్ దేర్, టెంపరీ డిజబిలిటీ వుడ్ బి దేర్. There is specifically mentioned how much the amount, fixed amount will be given. And here multiplier theory will be used in the Sarala case law, and this will be used over there. But a person cannot claim from the both. Motor vehicle accident, again he will not claim from the Workman Compensation Act. Either he can claim the amount either from the Workman Compensation Act or he can claim from the Motor Vehicle Act. But he cannot claim for the only one cause of action, two remedies. Is it clear?
Yes, clear, sir.
Yes. There is a provision of a simple interest applicable on the number of the claims from the day of the accident in the case of delay in justice of the claimant due to any reason. Suppose the day when the accident is happened, from the date onwards, they will count it till the payment of the amount. Up to that extent, with the interest they will pay. Of course, depending upon the court, 6%, 7%, 8%, whatever the interest rate would be there at the time, they will fix that rate. So the claim amount under the Motor Vehicle Act has been standardized to the rupees 50,000 in case of death. Now the latest in case of death, lump sum 50,000 or the victim, or 25,000 in case of the injury. Generally, the permanent injury is this one, not temporary injury. However, the judge may increase the amount of this claim from the case to case basis to get the fair compensation for the claimant. So it is not a hard and fast rule that the 50,000 should be given in the death, in case of the death. Suppose that person who died is a first class gazetted officer and a MD in the pathology in the government hospital. At the time, 50,000 is a meager amount to him in the case of the death. So depending upon that one, the judge will see from case to case on the merit of the case, the compensation for the death may be increased from the 50,000 to the above also. So this is the way that we can make it out for the compensation. In another case law that I will found, there is a good calculation is there. Wonderful calculation is there here. I will show you the calculation, how they can make it, how the compensation will be calculated here. See, when the standard method being followed, the court to involve the following steps. Number one, calculate the income of the deceased with the future prospects. I told you future prospects, 30%, 40%, 30%, 10%. And the income of the deceased, the age into multiplier theory. Sarala case law, Sarma case law. If the 35 to 40, this much age, if the age is increasing, automatically multiply is decreasing. Then we are number two, deduction for the personal and living expenses of the deceased. So deductions also there, living expenses of the deceased. And selection of the multiplier theory. I told you in the Sarala Verma case law, multiplier theory is there. And the lot is computation of the compensation. How they will compute it? Let us see the above standard method aims at bringing the consistency in the matter of the calculation of the compensation payable to the victims or the legal heirs. See, in the Motor Vehicle Act, no, more than the liar, the munshi is very much perfect in the calculation. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
He calculated everything. That's why he said, any receipt, please bring it to us. Any medical receipt, even including the taxi receipt, bring to us. We will calculate it, everything. So income of the deceased for the future prospects also will be counted. So actual income of the deceased after taxes needs to be considered. How much the tax that he will pay after deducting the tax, then we can say it is a net income of a deceased. The future prospect of the deceased, I told you, 40%, 30%, 20%, depending upon the capacity of a person, how much the future prospects should be there for that person, and that also calculated. See, here given the age of the deceased, below 40 years, 50% future prospect of the deceased having permanent job with the increments. 50% below the 40 years. And use right hand side, future prospects of the deceased who was self-employed, fixed his salary 40%. Between 40 to 50, 30%. But self-employed 25%. And between 50 to 60, 15%. For self-employed 10%. Above 60, no prospects, nil. For self-employed, nil. So this is the way the future prospects will be counted. 50%, 40%, 30%, 25%, permanent employee, self-employed, 15%, 10%, nil when the age is above the 60 years. Whose age is above the 60 years?
Deceased person, sir.
Pardon?
Deceased person.
Deceased person, victim. Okay. Income of the deceased with the future prospects. See, we are making the calculation. According to the deceased having the permanent job with the increment, having the annual income of the 1 lakh, 1, 10, 100,000, 10,000, 1 lakh. Yeah. 1 lakh ఉన్నదనుకోండి ఎప్పుడు ఇన్కమ్ సోర్సెస్ ఎప్పుడు యాన్యువల్ ఇన్కమ్ విత్ ద ఇంక్రిమెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ డిసీజ్ పర్మనెంట్ జాబ్ the salary with the future prospect shall be taken as depending upon his age. ఇక్కడ చూద్దండి ఏజ్ బిలో ద 40 years అయితే 1 lakh plus 50% of 1 lakh, then it becomes 1,50,000. Then age between the 40 to 50 years ఉన్నదనుకోండి 1 lakh is the annual income plus 30% only, because 40 to 50 future expenses 30%, that becomes 1,30,000. Age between the 50 to 60 ఉన్నదనుకో 1 lakh is salary, only 15% of future prospects, then it becomes 1,15,000. Suppose age above the 60% ఉన్నదనుకోండి future prospects nil. కాబట్టి 1 lakh only. If the deceased was a self-employed unnadukondi, having a fixed salary job, having the annual income of the 1 lakh unnadukondi, again the same applicable. 40%, 25%, and nil. 10% and nil. Did you see the table?
Yes, sir.
So this is the way where it will be calculated. What is the net income after the deduction from the deceased?
Deceased person with
Later on, the future prospect of the deceased, and if it is self-employed, how much? If it is a permanent employed with the increment, how much? So that will it come. So deductions of the personal and living expenses ఉంటాయి deduction లో. ఏమేమి ఉంటాయంటే deduction లో actual disposable income, deceased would have spent a part of his income in his own personal and living expenses. Remaining amount would have been his contribution to the family. Next, deceased personal and living expenses one hand, and his contribution to the family will have the direct bearing of the material, that is the marital status, number of the dependents కూడా ఉంటాయి. సపోజ్ 10 మంది ఉన్నారనుకోండి, మందికే సజ్జిపోతుంది, వాడు ఇంకేం ఇస్తాడు, ఇన్కమ్. A bachelor would tend to spend more himself rather than the married woman with the family. So comparison there చూడండి. A married man will spend less because he will think about the wife and children, but a unmarried, a bachelor man will spend more on himself only. So the court have evaluated the following standard parameters for working out the deductions toward the personal and living expenses of the deceased. ఇక్కడ చెప్పిన 1/3 while deceased is the 2-3 dependent family members, 1/4 where the deceased have the 4 to 6 dependent family members, 1/5 where the deceased have more than 6 dependent family members. So number 2, deceased being the bachelor, deduction towards his personal and living expense half. ఇక్కడ చూడండి 1/3 ఏమో మ్యారీడ్ అయితే, ఇక్కడేమో హాఫ్ టోటల్లీ అన్మ్యారీడ్ అయితే, ఏది బ్యాచులర్ అయితే, ఎందుకంటే వారికి షోకులు ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయి. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Of course, survived with the parents and siblings, mother being only the dependent of the deceased ఉన్నప్పుడు 1/3 where the deceased has a large number of the dependents young and non-earning members. So there also they bring this part may also vary depending upon the facts and circumstances of each case. So how we calculated depending upon the each case, then multiplier to be adopted over here. Age of the deceased, multiplier theory I already told you, up to 15 years 15, 15 to 20 years 18, 21 to 22 to 18, 26 to 30 17. These are the methods they will adapt it regarding the dependent theory. Dependent ఉన్నప్పుడు ఎట్లయితే డిపెండింగ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇదే నేను చెప్పేది. Dependence ఉన్నప్పుడు this they will adapt it. Other components they will say the loss of estate 15,000, loss of consortium, I told you, consortium, loss of the wife, loss of the husband, such a consortium of 40,000, funeral expenses 15,000. The above expenditure shall be enhanced to 10% every 3 years. Base year is 2017. So they will calculate it, they will make it out. So cumulatively how much amount should be paid over there, it will be needed. So calculation is very much important factor in the motor vehicle accident case. If any little mistake would be there, then the judge or the magistrate will not give it. They will say again rectify it and bring it to the knowledge. So important judgment, what is that? Sarala Verma. So tomorrow class we will see what are the important judgments should be there in the Motor Vehicle Act regarding the compensation. So Sarala Verma, Srimati Sarala Verma and others versus Delhi Transport Corporation and others. If you don't know this case law, that means you don't know anything about the Motor Vehicle Act compensation multiplier theory. సార్ ఆగ్రాకు పోయినాం సార్, ఏం చూసినారు సార్? రైల్వే స్టేషన్. ఆగ్రాకు పోయి రైల్వే స్టేషన్ చూస్తారా అండి ఎవరన్నా?
No, sir. Taj Mahal చూస్తారు.
తాజ్ మహల్ చూస్తారు. బట్ ఆగ్రా అంతా తిరిగినా సార్, ఏమేమి చూసినావురా? ఆ రైల్వే స్టేషన్, ఆ ఊరంతా చూసినా. ఇంకేం చూసినావురా? ఇంకేమున్నది? కెన్ యూ సే సో? ఫస్ట్ అండ్ ఫార్మోస్ట్ యూ హావ్ టు సీ ద తాజ్ మహల్. దెన్ ఆఫ్టర్ అడ్జెషన్ టు ద తాజ్ మహల్ వాట్ ఈస్ దేర్? ఆగ్రా ఫోర్ట్ ఉన్నది. ఆగ్రా ఫోర్ట్ కూడా చూసి రావాలా. లాల్ కిలా కాదు, లాల్ కిలా ఢిల్లీలో ఉన్నది. సార్ నేను చూసినా సార్ ఆగ్రాలో. ఏం చూసినావు సార్? కుతుబ్ మినార్ చూసినా సార్. కెన్ యూ సీ ద కుతుబ్ మినార్ ఇన్ ద ఆగ్రా?
No, sir.
Where do you see the Qutub Minar?
Delhi, sir.
Pardon?
Delhi, sir.
Delhi. You can see the in Delhi. There the tourist places are there. If of course morning they will take you and evening they will drop you. They will take you a mini bus or AC bus or a large bus. They will show the main tourist places in a one stroke that you could see the what are the main places should be there, including the Baha'i